Hello guys, you're welcome to my channel. This is your host Nest NK and this is the Noble's Haven. Now this channel was created for three main group of people. First of all, anybody who wants to improve their understanding in biology, you can feel at home here. Anybody who is planning or who is already studying in any of the health science institution, you're also welcome. And then anybody who has a healthy curiosity to know more about how the human body works, you're also welcome. So today we'll be talking about the tissue, and it's a logical continuation from where we left off the last time we were talking about the cell. We said that the cell is the basic unit of life, and that similar group of cells will come together to form tissues, and that is why we are going to talk about tissues today. Now, when I was preparing for this particular lecture, this scripture kept popping up, and I felt that I needed to share with you guys, otherwise it won't leave me. I won't rest. So the scripture is at Hebrews chapter 3 verse 4, which says, "Of course, every house is constructed by someone, but he that constructed everything is God." And so when I look at the construction of the tissues, I'm like, no, this guy is so intelligent. That's why I have the scripture there. I felt I needed to share with you. Now let's dive straight into the topic today. So cells are the basic unit of life. We all know that. And when these cells of similar shape and function come together, they form the tissues. And the tissues of similar function also come together to form organs. And the organs will come together to form organ system and then the organism. So in multicellular organisms like human beings, this is how we are arranged. Good. Now, the study of tissue is called histology. I felt I needed to mention this so that as you visit, for those who work in the hospital, students or nurses, you hear doctors saying histology report, histological report, or yes, it's just to study the tissue of the patient, and it's often done for people who are suspected to have cancer. So you want to go and study their tissues to see is everything okay? Yes, basically. So when cells with similar shape, size, and function come together, they form tissue, which has already been mentioned. And we know we have billions of cells in our bodies. But these billions of cells are divided and grouped into four main tissues. Four main tissues. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. And these tissues are the nervous tissue, the muscular tissue, the connective tissue, and then the epithelial tissue. We are starting with the nervous tissue. Now you know that tissues are formed by several cells, right? So it means one cell cannot form a tissue. So now let's take a look at this nervous tissue. You will see that you have neurons, you have neuralgia, but you also have microglial cells here. You have astrocytes, you have oligodendrocytes. All these cells, along with other fibers, will come together to form the tissue. And why is this so important? You see, these nervous tissue will go on to form important organs like the brain and its stem and then the spinal cord. So it means that without the nervous tissue, all the five senses that we know would not exist, because those senses are controlled by the nervous system, which has the boss as the brain. So the nervous tissue is like the tissues that coordinate and control most of the systems in the human body. It is responsible for all the sensations, all the electrical changes, all the communication that goes on in the body. Communication between organs and organs, between system and system, and then the verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Everything is coordinated by the nervous tissue. So we can say that the nervous tissue is like the boss of communication, and then if major organs like the brain and the spinal cord are coming from the nervous tissue, it means you shouldn't joke with it. Great. Now we go to the muscle tissue. Now the muscle tissue has three types. That is what we can see in the screen. We have the cardiac muscle, which are the muscles that operate in the heart, or the muscle that controls the heart. Then we have the smooth muscle, which are muscles that we can find in all the organs in the abdominal cavity and in the pelvic cavity and some other places of the body. So you see that these are smooth muscles. This is the shape. And then we have skeletal muscles. These are muscles that are attached to bones. These two muscles, the cardiac muscle and the smooth muscles, are involuntary muscle. It means you can't control them. Like you can't actively control them. But with the skeletal muscle, you can control them. So these two are controlled by the brain or the nervous system. Great. So moving on, we can say that the muscle tissue is responsible for a lot of things, but we'll talk about 5. The first one is posture. Without your muscles, you won't be able to sit in a regular way or walk. You'll be distorted. You get it? So the muscle ensures posture. And then heat generation. Have you noticed that when you do something that involves a lot of muscles, for instance, like exercise, or you walk briskly, you realize that you are sweating because the muscular cells generate a lot of heat, and so they provide heat for the body. So without the muscles, we'll all die of cold. Great. And then body movement, of course. We said the skeletal muscles are attached to the bones and they are voluntary. So they ensure that we move. So all the movement that we can control, it is because of the muscle. Excellent. Now, one interesting thing that I find about the muscle is they cover both the entry, that is our mouth of our body, and the exit, that is the anal region. So without these muscles protecting our mouth or covering our mouth and our anal region, you can imagine we'll just be, dropping body fluids, uncontrollably, and that will make our life very, very bad. So you need to thank a muscle for that. And then the support for all the soft organs. So let's think about the abdominal cavity. You have organs like liver, spleen, stomach, pancreas, all the intestine, everything are kept in their place by the muscle. So without the abdominal muscle holding these things in place, you can imagine everything will just be flying loosely, and would they be able to function well? No, they won't be able to function well because they don't have support. Great. So let's go to the third tissue. It is the connective tissue. Very, very, very important. In fact, this guy is everywhere. And look at the name connective and think about connection. When we say connective, it means connection. These are all the tissues that ensures that the body is protected, the body is supported, the body stores energy, the body is able to bind, and provide. They are like the glue. They provide immunity. Look at how important our immune system are. They are part of the connective tissue. So any tissue that connects one part of the body to the other is a connective tissue. And what are we talking about? We are talking about tissues like bone tissues, like tendons, like adipose, blood, ligaments. Because they are everywhere and they are like the glue or what binds us, it keeps us together. You can only imagine there are various shapes and consistency. Some are solid like the bone tissue, some are semi-solid, some are liquid like the blood tissue. So basically, these guys uh, keeps us together and support, especially our immune system. Great. And so now let's look at the last but not the least, the epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. We have 4 main types of epithelial tissue. We have the squamous or simple squamous. Then we have the cuboidal. We have the columnar. We have the stratified squamous. Now look at this squamous. You see that there are one layer of cells or one layer. So the cells are just one layer. And these types of epithelial tissue are often what lines organs where they need to exchange something with the opposite or the environment. So, for instance, the lungs, some parts of the lungs have this type of epithelial tissue. So let's go on and then see. So when we talk about epithelia in in biology or in anatomy, we are talking about skin or covering. So they are the tissues that form the skin. They cover various organs as well as they line various internal organs, tubes, and glands. So their main function is to form boundaries between environments, allow movement of molecules, and then secretion of mucus. What do I mean by that? For instance, our skin that covers all our body prevents outside environment from interacting with our organs. So it creates that barrier and prevents things that are not supposed to enter our system to enter because we have the skin there as a barrier. Now, when you go into the internal organs, you see that all of them have something covering them, making them complete, like self-contained in their own small way, such that they don't have to interact with the others, so that the liver cells won't be falling off and be going to perch on the stomach or something. Everybody is in their case because of epithelial tissue. Also, they produce mucus. That is why when you swallow something, it just moves smoothly because your esophagus is lined with epithelial tissue that produces mucus and aids the free movement. And this happens in various parts of our body. And so these are the four main types: the stratified, squamous, simple squamous, cuboidal, columnar. And depending on which part of the body you find them, it can determine how thick or how light the epithelial tissue is. It will also determine whether it produces mucus or it does not. It also determines whether it allows for exchange or it does not. So, to caption all that we have learned today, I would say that we have four main tissues: the nervous tissue, the muscular tissue, the connective tissue, and the epithelial tissue. And these tissues will later come together in various ways to form organs, and that is what we are going to talk about in the next is it lesson or lecture? Yes. So please stay tuned. And with this little information that we have about tissue, tell me what you think in the comment section. Can we agree with people who say that all these things happened by chance and that God didn't create them? Personally, I don't think so, but I would like to hear your opinion. Thank you for your time. Then enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see you soon with more videos, and I'll be waiting for your comments, suggestions, so that we can use it to improve this channel. Do have a nice day. Bye.